Ahoy, and welcome to ITS Inc Weekly Automotive News Update, your one-stop briefing on the top auto industry stories from around the globe. I'm Jordan, and here are the 5 key details you need to know this week. Our first headline comes from Europe. Leading automakers, including Mercedes-Benz, are calling on European Commission to reconsider the EU's 2035 zero-emissions car mandate. They point to major hurdles like reliance on Asian battery supply chains, slow charging infrastructure rollouts, and high production costs. With EVs making up only about 15% of new sales in the EU, industry leaders are urging flexibility. They're suggesting hybrids, hydrogen, and even synthetic fuel alternatives. A strategy dialogue on the issue is set for September 12th. Next up, the US and European Union are moving closer to harmonizing their vehicle safety and emission standards. This could make it easier for automakers to sell the same cars on both sides of the Atlantic. But some European safety advantages are concerned. They warn this might lower protection standards since US rules focus mainly on driver and passenger safety, while EU rules also emphasize pedestrian safety and sustainability. From Asia, China's state-owned automaker Dongfeng Motor is making a bold move. They're spinning off their EV unit called Voyah in a separate listed company, while delisting the rest of the business from the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. The market responded fast, with Dongfeng's shares jumping nearly 70%. It's a clear signal that Chinese model makers are doubling down on electrification, even as global demand for EVs begins to cool. Back to Europe this time, the UK now. Major car makers like BMW, Jaguar, Land Rover, Nissan, and Toyota are pushing the government to relax strict zero-emission sales mandates. They argue that demand isn't keeping up with expectations, and that forcing aggressive EV targets could risk jobs and investments. In July, EVs made up more than 20% of sales, but car makers say the growth isn't sustainable without incentives and infrastructure. Environmental groups, however, warn that easing rules now could stall the transition to cleaner transport. And finally, a consumer-focused story. Suzuki has announced pricing for its 2025 Fronx Hybrid. It's launching September 1st, and the big news is the price tag, coming in under $30,000 in its local market. It's a mild hybrid crossover with fresh styling, strong equipment, and a focus on affordability. Suzuki is showing it's committed to bring electrification to everyday buyers. And that wraps up this week's ITS Inc Weekly Automotive News Update. Thanks for watching. And as always, stay tuned for more insights. And drive safe out there. We'll see you next time.